guys, we are back for the end of Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. We just finished chapters 34 to the end, and we are going to talk about all of it, like the whole book, everything that just happened. So we know all the secrets. So if you haven't finished this book and you don't want to immediately know all the secrets, this is not the place for you. Um, so much happened at the end. Like, I don't even know where to start. Like, now that everything is out on the board, I don't feel like you have to be as cagey about your thoughts, Jamie. But like, was there anything in particular that you wanted to start off with to see what we thought about the end?
I well, I feel like we have to talk the big one, which is the some Salem mattress, or I don't can't even pronounce his name, but that
I think
reveal. But I feel like,
Salamastris, maybe.
yeah, I feel like you guys were
Yeah.
pretty spot on though about who he is and who Blackwell is. So there really was, no surprise there. Although I thought I got Elena really good when I did the switch up with the prologue.
I kept trying to think about it, and I was like, "Is it possible that it was her mom?" And I was like, "No, there's really no way because, like, now that we know that she was with Giddy, it's always going to be Gideon, Gabriel.
Caleb,
Now that we know
Gabriel.
that she was with Gabriel, like, there's no way that Gabriel was a devil." And I did love how the prologue chunk came back in at the end. That was cool, but yeah, like as predictable as Blackwell being Salem was at the same time, like we weren't 100% sure. Like we were not like, oh yes, absolutely, like I would stake my life on it in a Phantasma-esque trial. Like there was still a question of, is he some sort of different, like is he some sort of just phantom and or like other devil? So there was still a part of me that was wondering, like right up until, really like right up until she went into the door and oh goodness, what's his name? Sinclair. Right up until Sinclair was like, "No, don't." I was like, "Oh, buddy, you've done
Yeah.
too much." It was very funny.
Yeah, like he tried to stop her.
Yeah. I also liked how they made it made make sense at the end because we kept like the thing that kept throwing me is like, why is Sinclair talking about like Salamastris separately from Blackwell? Like everybody was just too good at lying. But then like it made sense at the end, which I really appreciated.
Yeah, I thought it made sense. Like he couldn't talk about it. Like he was treating it like as two different people, the devil and the phantom.
Yeah, and that's just how the curse worked. I really liked it. I thought the twist was very cool. And as I was getting closer, I realized that if Salem was anyone other than Blackwell, it was gonna feel very weird to bring in like an extra evil character at the end. So I was
Yeah.
glad that it was that.
What did you guys think about the backstory? So this curse has been going on for 500 years.
Oh, it's a ghost mug.
Perfect.
It's not like I
Um,
don't use the ghost mug at inappropriate times, but then today when I was picking out my mug, I was like, it has to be this one today.
but he wasn't even a ghost. I was so positive that he was a phantom. Cause like, why did they mention it if he wasn't a phantom of a devil? But no, he wasn't dead at all.
Red herring, Elena, red herring.
So many red herrings in this book.
So
Oh
is
my
there like
god.
really no phantom in this book? Because he was like the only one. Are they even
Yeah,
real?
Good question.
great
Maybe we'll find
question.
out in Enchantra.
Um, the curse was interesting, and I read this a week ago, so obviously it's gone from my head. It's so it was reincarnation, right?
Basically,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, I actually really liked that at the end, they still didn't know that. Like, I thought that was kind of cool that, like, they're still trying to figure out how the locket worked.
Mhm.
But we do get that one, like, 500 years ago chapter where we find out that it was, like, the actual heart was taken out of Angel, who was Salem's original
Mhm.
lover, and like somehow distilled into like the soul essence that's put into the locket and then given to the generations 500 years ago, grim woman who then passes it down through the generations. I didn't quite understand like what the King of the Devils was trying to get at with this. Like I think I would have liked a little more of like I'm gonna use like this locket's gonna be out in the world, so it's going to like torture him forever. Like he's gonna be so close to being able to be with her, but he'll never be able to get her. It seemed like he was setting up this beautiful love ending that I thoroughly enjoyed, like a little too much. I was like, Daddy Devil, if you want to be truly evil, like what was your thought with this? But I loved it, so I don't really care.
I just took it as a like in the end it's still his son. He wanted to give him a chance. Like if this is really what he wanted for it to happen.
Yeah, and it worked, and it was beautiful. I loved it. Yeah, the ending was really cute. I felt like I could have used like one more chapter because I felt like I got a little whiplash between like Blackwell being Blackwell and then all of a sudden
Yeah.
she just like pops up on level 9 and he's like, yeah, I just got my memories back and like I guess this is how it is. And like at first he just seemed very unapologetic. He was like, yeah, you came early, so I can only offer you like, 5 years back and that's it. So do you want to take it and then get out so I can restart this awful thing that is my life? And I would have liked like a little more of a transition or like him feel like seeing him maybe having a little whiplash of like, oh wow, like it happened again. But yeah, again,
It was just
really,
a long time coming for him.
yeah, won't complain.
Waited a
Loved
long
it.
time.
Loved it.
Interesting that that's where you wanted the extra chapter. Because then when you said I wish there was one more chapter, my personal wish was that there was one more chapter at the end where we like got to see more of them like after the fact. Because I feel like this entire
Yeah.
like they allude to like his super cool devil powers and that he can like do a lot of things. And like in that last chapter, they make a lot of mentions of like, oh, and he did this and this and this, but we don't get to like see any of like their relationship really when
Yeah.
he's in his
That's
like
true.
full power form.
Right, because
Yeah.
they mentioned he got rid of, or he dealt with the financial debt, but like, what does
Yeah.
that mean?
He just handled it, Jamie.
He
He
just
handled
handled
it.
it.
Devilly nonsense and shenanigans. It all worked out. No, I also agree with that, Elena. I think in my mind, I guess I'm probably the only one at this point that doesn't really know what book two is about. But I'm assuming my assumption is that book two is Genevieve and whoever she is with, which at this point I'm hoping it's Sinclair. She was really into his ass. Like I'm all about somehow turning that evil boy around. But I don't know what book two is, but I'm hoping that there's more of the two of them in the background. I love how you're trying so hard not to have emotions. Maybe at the end of this episode you guys can tell me what book two is about and then we'll talk about where we think it's going to go, just in case anybody else is weirdly like me and doesn't even like to read the backs of books before you start page one.
Speaking of Genevieve, I feel like I have to put out like a vague announcement because I'm pretty sure I was pretty adamant that no matter what, I was gonna hate her. And I really wanted to. Like, I wanted nothing more than to be like, this character is so annoying. But in my opinion, it was a different character in the back half of this book than we got in the front half of this book.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like the only thing that was recognizable from her from the beginning of the book to when we see her again was like her snarky, like awesome and like party girl vibe isn't really the
Yeah.
right phrase that I'm looking for, but she's just like down to clown. She's like good for anything. She's like I just loved when she was like, "Oh my gosh, you hooked up with both devils. I'm so proud of you." I was like, "This is the hype queen that we needed." Like, thank you,
Please.
Genevieve.
I was nice just seeing like their relationship when it was working, as opposed to being left with like, oh, she's a terrible sister.
Yeah,
Um,
and as much as like the them not getting along for most of the book hurt me, I actually liked it. Like it was very different. I feel like at least like the stuff that
mhm.
I read or we read is like, sisters getting along or like at least like best girlfriends that are like sisters. And I feel like this was very different in like the strained relationship that even at the end they're like, yeah, we're working on us. And I was like, I love that. I love that for you.
I love how you say that, but also I can think of multiple books where sisters do not get along.
I feel like that's not like the usual. Like usually you've got like the two girls who are like, they're
Yeah,
like they are each other's person,
yeah,
like they're in it forever. And you get like the spats or whatever,
yeah,
and it's usually like pretty strong. And this one I felt like was the opposite. It was we want to be close, but we aren't, and how do we get there?
yeah.
I liked that it was kind of like a fresh start for them. Now that everything's on the table, all the secrets are out, they're not hiding anymore. They can actually start a new relationship.
I
Yeah.
also loved Genevieve and Blackwell's banter. We love
Yes.
couple like characters that banter.
Yeah.
It was
That
really cute.
that one chapter of the three of them like hanging out in the castle together, I immediately was just I was also getting the vibes that like Ophelia was getting. Like this could be my future. Like this could be the man that I'm in love with and my sister and like all three of us getting along, and wouldn't that be amazing? And like I can't have it. And I was like, girl, if you don't have it by the end of this book, I will riot for you. So it was really nice to see that come back around in the epilogue to like, oh, they're sending Ophelia on a trip and like they're gonna all go on vacation together and like they're doing all this stuff, and I really liked that. Yeah. Can I just say that my personal favorite twist of this book that I had no idea was coming was how their mom died. And like getting up to the
Nice.
end, I was like, how have we not mentioned that mom definitely didn't die of natural causes? Like, I mean, we kind of like the back of the book spoiled it for us, which we realized in the last episode that like it mentioned she was murdered. So I kept trying to figure out like when is this going to come up in a way that's going to feel satisfying that we find out. And just the minute it was dropped on me, I was like, oh my goodness. Like, I never considered that something that Gabriel was doing in the trials could have possibly, like, it did not even occur to me.
Well, and it was just an interesting we kept being like, "Oh, why were they in so much debt? Why did their mom die?" And it just all came back to the fact that their dad had a crazy obsession.
Right. Like
Yeah.
the cursed obsession, which is just so tragic. Like every single time that was brought up, it made me so sad. And I'm a
Yeah.
little surprised that it didn't come up that the curse was kind of Blackwell's fault a little bit and like basically killed both of her parents. But I guess like Ophelia looked over the fact that it really wasn't Salem, I should say. Salem, it wasn't really his fault that it happened. But
No,
yeah,
it was his dad's fault.
Mhm.
right. Right. Yeah. I
Did
hope
we
we meet
see
the King
the
of the
king
Devils
again?
again.
I was
No.
gonna say, like, did we ever meet him? I don't remember
Nope.
seeing
No.
him.
No. And I'm wondering if that's part of book two as well, is like there's some sort of, scene after the fallout from this where maybe the King of the Devils is like, no, back into Phantasma you go, I'll make a new one, or there's just some sort of him being upset about it. But I don't know.
I don't know.
Something that I was not a huge fan of in this book was the number of breakups that seemed like they didn't really all have a point. And I know Elena, you and I were making comments on like the final breakup before they get back together in the next scene, which was Blackwell breaking things off because he realized that they were falling in love with each other and he didn't want her to get cursed. So I thought it was interesting. Like I liked that one. That one made sense to me. But like the two or
Mhm.
three that came before it, where every time she was like, "Oh no, I might have feelings," or "Oh no, I'm getting distracted," I was like, "Girl, what are you doing?"
But then we wouldn't have all the makeup sex.
That's true. That's true. I think I could have her doing one breakup and then like some amazing tension to then break up sex and then him breaking it off again and then more tension to then more amazing breakup sex. But like the let's not be together and then literally right after the next trial they were like, just kidding. What were we thinking? This was silly.
So silly.
Yeah. Even I forget what trial it is afterward that he saves her from. after he breaks up with her and is then just immediately like, let's hook up. And I was like, with no second thought about what your rationale was in the previous scene when you broke up with her, like just immediately he's like, I'll be on my knees for you all night. And I was like, I mean, we love to see it, but at the same time, explain your motivations, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, I could have gone with maybe one less breakup scene, maybe possibly one less smutty scene, because there was a lot. I don't know
There
how you
was,
guys felt, and
yeah.
I'm all for it, but it was just there was a lot.
I think that it felt like a lot because it was so rubber bandy for me
It
that it was just
was.
like, we
Hmm.
can't be together. And then there was no like middle ground. It was either we're pretending we like hate each other or we need to be platonic or we're like fully going at it. There was no like, oh,
Well,
should we or
Yeah,
should we not?
it was kind of a cycle too, where it would be like breakup, trial, hookup, breakup,
yeah,
trial, hookup,
Yes.
breakup, trial, hookup.
Yes.
exactly. That's why it
Yeah.
felt longer than
Yeah.
9 days at the time when I was reading this for, um, but I I mean, I do like the smut, but it was just like I think I could have done with one less, especially when it was starting to get really interesting and like there's more and
Mhm.
more clues to the plot.
Yeah.
Because like at the end, we just got bombarded with reveals and reveals and reveals, and one of them we didn't get a chance to talk about was her biggest fear.
Yeah. That was really interesting that
Uh,
it was just like that it wasn't that it was the voice coming to life, not that the voice actually had been a person the whole time.
Yeah, I really liked that we
Mhm.
finished the book with it purely being like OCD. Like it was really just this like awful voice in her head that makes her do these things. But yeah, the it like becoming personified and like the also like the specificity, I guess is the right word, of her fear, which was it having like making her hurt herself because we kept thinking it was like, oh, like the voice like forcing her to do stuff or like the stuff that it's forcing her to do like being real, but it was it like forcing her to hurt herself, which it does. That was what she was really worried about, and I was like, that feels so real to me, like not having gone through OCD, but like to me that seemed like for people who have, that would be a really great character to connect to.
yeah, I
And
think
also
the
just like the horror
representation was done really
representation.
well. Oh God, yeah, I was scared
Yeah,
reading this.
representation fantastic, horror fantastic, and I think like throughout this book I really loved that. Like I don't think that I've read like a horror-esque romance before, and this felt more horror than fantasy to me. And I really liked
Yeah,
that.
me too. And I like how the trials were set up too. I thought they were creative and
Hmm.
fun enough for me to keep going.
Yes, yes. When those pillars appeared over everybody's seats when they were about to play like the world's worst truth or dare, I was like, I know what those pillars are there for. I'm not sure how you all don't know what those pillars are there for. So like I wasn't shocked when we made human soup out of the first person who was wrong, but like that was really cool that especially the it wasn't like the true or false questions were things that even the person didn't know in some instances. So that was
Yeah.
really cool when that one person was like, I'm a twin, and everyone was like, how are we supposed to know if it's true or false now? I was like, this is truly diabolical. I really like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also thought it was interesting that we got to hear how like Genevieve went through it and that her approach was super different in terms of she was like, yeah, I was really bad at telling, but I would just jump out of the way.
Yeah, when we learned that she also can turn invisible and that she's like
Yeah.
been dealing with that her whole childhood, I felt like that was a good bridge for the two of them.
Yeah.
Where like, oh, Ophelia felt like Genevieve kept pushing away their like their otherness, and it's like, oh, come to find out she's been dealing with it her whole life, and now they can connect on that level. Their like specter heritage. Elena, how upset were you that they appear to just be specters?
It's fine. Like, honestly, at first I was like, "What? How is this not a thing?" But in reality, it was a really, really good red herring, I think. Like, I think it was put in a way where, like, you were expecting something and then not having it happen at all is kind of an interesting twist.
Do you mean about like
Yeah.
the angels?
Yeah.
I was like a little bummed, but at the same time, I was like, okay, it would have been like the obvious choice to have her
Yeah.
be part angel. So I liked that it was something different that we weren't guessing. Like it was truly that they were specters. And the way that they brought it around, where it was like the reason that he called her Angel was because that was the person that he was in love with before, whose soul she recaptured.
Well, and to be honest, there were so many, like, little bits that were like, "Oh, maybe she's an angel," like, the fact her dad's name was Gabriel, like, the disappearing, the all of it. By the end, like, if it had been revealed she had been an angel, it would've been kind of an underwhelming reveal. It would've been like, "Oh, yeah, that makes sense," versus, like, not having it,
Mhm.
then you're like, "Damn."
Yeah. Like I wonder if in book two we might find out that like
Mhm.
Angel was an angel, which seems like that might also be a
It
little
doesn't
eye
seem
rolling, but
that way because, like, the whole back scene, it was about how she was immortal and how that was the problem.
true, true. I forget,
Yeah.
like in this book, angels are immortal.
Mhm.
So yeah, she wouldn't have been able to be both. But
Yeah,
yeah, like I liked that it was a different twist. Like the moment where we learned that his love's name was Angel. I was like,
yeah,
oh, like the fact that he recognized her, like he recognized her soul in
yeah.
the game and started calling her Angel. I was like, oh, my heart.
Reincarnation for the win.
Yes. Yeah. No. And I do wonder if in book two we see them find that out and like does it play a role in their relationship? Or it's just like maybe we never see them again and we just know that they're gonna be okay no matter what. Because he can find money anywhere and get them plane tickets to anywhere and it's all good.
Solve all their problems.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just wish we had seen more of it. It would have been so cute because I feel like we saw Blackwell the whole thing, and it would have been nice to see more about like him with his full personality.
Yes.
Also, I felt
Yeah.
like there was a little bit of a letdown that they were just like, and everything is Dad's fault, and then they just left it there. They were never like, where is he now? Like this,
Where
Great
is dad?
question. Where is he?
does
Where is dad?
did he die? Like, if you choose the wrong person, do you die?
I don't
Oh,
think so.
yeah, I don't
I
know.
don't
I mean,
remember.
I mean, Genevieve went into Phantasma looking for Gabriel. So,
But that would have been before they knew that he's the reason their mom died.
mhm. Maybe it's a plot for book two.
Yeah,
Is it
maybe we
Jamie?
find more about that.
What?
Oh, before you guys tell me what book two is about, I just want to say, what was her curse? Did I miss that at the end?
Whose curse?
Ophelia's.
I don't think she gets cursed, does
She
she?
didn't get one.
No, but that was like, so Salem keeps like going on about that when he's like, "Are you sure that you want to be with me forever?" He specifically says, like, "I'm not going to be able to get rid of whatever the curse is that Phantasma gave to you for falling in love with me during this. Like, so if you're gonna be with me forever, or like you're going to give me like your win, like I'm not gonna be able to heal whatever that is." And she's like, "Yeah, let's do it." And it just sort of never comes up.
Well, because isn't it just because she gives him like the heart itself? Like, isn't that before he knows that she's the one? Isn't it before that he breaks her curse? She breaks his curse?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I think it's like it's right at the end.
I was more maybe I missed that because I was just like, oh, she didn't get cursed. Nice. Meanwhile, I was also
Yeah,
like,
I thought I missed
well,
it too. Or it was part of her like living forever because they're tethered.
oh, yeah, he did tie. her soul to his soul.
Yeah, and that's how they could be
Yeah,
together forever, for
because I think
eternity.
he gives his like beautiful, but in my opinion, poorly timed monologue about how much he loves her while Phantasma's crumbling around them. Um, and says like, okay, and it ends like, and I would trade every other soul in the world if it meant I would get to keep you forever. And he says, but whatever the curse did to you, whatever unique side effect it has chosen to inflict, it would only affect you when it comes to being in proximity to me. You can still walk away, Ophelia, go back to your life with your sister that you've always planned. Like, I think that it's supposed to still happen.
But that's before they tie their souls together, question mark.
Yes, but he makes it sound like if they go through with this tether thing, that the curse is supposed to still persist. Because then, he talks about like, I'm worried you don't understand the burden of eternity. Like, you're gonna be shackled to me for the rest of forever, not just like a mortal life. And he says, now or never, what's your decision? And it ends. And then it goes to the epilogue. Like, there's no, like,
Uncertain.
oh, yes, we tied our souls together and now I'm not cursed. And there's like no discernible curse.
I don't
Mm.
know, but I also want
Yeah.
to know what Lucy's curse does because it was just like, ooh, Lucy's cursed.
It was
Bye.
burning when they touched. Her skin
Oh,
burned. So like hers was really obvious. And then like we knew what Ophelia's mom and dad's
yeah.
curse was. But what is Ophelia's curse with Salem? Is it a book 2 thing? Am I gonna find out?
I just don't think there is one. I think they loopholed it,
Huh.
but I could be wrong.
Yeah, there's just like no sentence that says, "Ah, yes, now that we are linked forevermore, no more shall this curse be."
My well, my understanding was eternity is the curse.
Oh,
That's how
Oh
that's how I read it.
Salem's the curse.
Yeah.
I did love when they're like going back and forth and he's like, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" And she's like,
Yeah.
"Honestly, I'm kind of regretting my choice right now." I was like, "Oh, you guys. You're basically married already." Yeah, so cute.
I'm glad you guys liked it.
Yeah, yeah. Enchantra next, which I'm totally fine. You guys can tell me what it's about, like back of the book summary. So if anybody doesn't want to know, because you either aren't going to read Enchantra or you wanna start without knowing, this is when you should sign off. Go ahead, guys. Tell me what's the premise of Enchantra? What am I getting myself into?
Can I say
Elena,
what
you go
I
ahead.
interpreted from the back of the book? So it follows Genevieve because, of course, it does. And I was quite
Yes,
unhappy about that when I figured that out mid this book. Less
yeah,
unhappy about it now, but it seems like she's abroad and then she like goes to this other mansion with this other family that is cursed to like play hide and seek. And they like play hide and seek and like she teams up with this guy and then they're gonna fall in love at some point, but it doesn't seem like he's a devil from the back of the book. It seems like he's another mortal. Like I was expecting it to be like, oh, and she meets Sinclair. It very much seems like it doesn't follow any characters at all from this book, which is kind of disappointing.
huh, okay. I love the creepy ghost hide and seek vibe. Like I could get behind that. Um
So yeah, so it's another set of games that Genevieve doesn't listen to when she accidentally enters it. But of course, right?
checks out.
Just breaks into this house and then like, oh no, you're stuck here. You can't leave until you finish the game. So
Okay.
and
Huh.
Elena's right. Like there's from what I've seen at least, there's no other previous characters that we've met that appears in Enchantra. It's so far it's just been her. A few mentions of her sister in Blackwell, from what I remember. But it isn't a new set of characters. But I think you'll like them.
But
Yeah.
I'm just, like, preliminarily disappointed because I was at least when it was gonna be Genevieve, I was like, "Oh, like, if she ends up with Sinclair, it'll be cool seeing, like, the relationship with the devil with their, like, full powers, like, someone, like" versus if it's just another guy, it's gonna be kind of a downer.
Oh,
And
and I think you'll like him.
Yeah. There's gonna be
You will like
something
this new
weird.
one. Because, like, to be honest, when I was reading Phantasma and the whole Sinclair guy came up, I was like, I honestly didn't care for him.
He seemed like the most obvious choice for like only other possible love interest out of this cast
yeah,
of characters. And I was like, I could see a world in which it's like a big old redemption arc. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, there was a part of me that was like, I don't love the fact that Sinclair like hooked up with Ophelia and then
Well,
might end up with
yeah,
her sister. Like that was the
when
part
that
that I was trying to
happened
wrap my brain around.
honestly, because we were talking that happened in this section, like, so when we talked about it last section, that hadn't happened yet, and as that was happening, I was like, "Ooh, that's not great if he ends up with her sister."
Yeah, and, like, I mean, it was, like, fairly minor on the scale of all the things that could have happened. I mean, like, there are also other things that I would have preferred, like, that I would have preferred we didn't even get on the scale at all, but, like, it could have been worse. It could have been worse. So, yeah, and I liked the idea of, Sinclair and Blackwell maybe, like, becoming friends again, like, that redemption
Yeah.
as well. But no, I'm totally okay for it to not be Sinclair at all, and I can get behind it being an entirely new cast of characters, and probably good that I know going in. So on like chapter 10, I'm not like, where's Ophelia? But maybe we do still learn about Dad. Like maybe we learn more about
Yeah,
Gabriel
maybe.
and like the whole story, and maybe they come back at the end. Maybe, who knows? We're gonna find out though.
Hmm.
So I hope you enjoyed reading Phantasma with us. We're gonna go on to Enchantra next, and I hope you will join us for that one. Hopefully, we will see you then. Bye, guys.
Bye.